Welcome to the Love Personal Growth Podcast, your go-to for embodied healing and spirituality in life, business, and relationships. And today, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about overwhelming emotions. And I'm going to be looking down at my journal at times because I took notes in my meditation this morning, and I'm going to share it with you, which is pretty vulnerable to do, but I am open and willing to do it. So here we go. When we are overcome by emotion, we become it. And I have had a lot of experience in becoming my emotion. And I was listening to an astrologer, and she said something that just opened my eyes like, holy cow. And I'm sure I've heard it before, but this time it hit me. And she said, what we reject, we project. So let's get deeper into that. What we reject, we project. When I was not allowing myself to feel what I was truly feeling, I would project that onto everyone else. So, in my anger, if I did not allow myself to feel my anger, then guess what I was doing to everyone else? I was putting that misplaced anger that did not even belong to them on them. My resentment, so let me give you a very specific example. There were times when I was doing the dishes or cleaning up or making the kids' lunches or doing the bedtime routine, and my resentment was so great inside of me. Like my jaw would clench, my heart would tighten, my shoulders would tighten, and I would just be so frustrated that I was doing it all on my own. And it made me so mad. So what did I do? I didn't allow myself to feel that. I would make passive-aggressive comments. I was rejecting my own feelings, not allowing myself to feel it. So then I was projecting that resentment onto other people. Also, most of us, were never taught what to do with our emotions. So when I was little, it was not okay to be angry. It was a very interesting dynamic because it was okay for the adults to be angry and even to be angry at you and even for them to take their anger out on you. But I could not be angry. The kids could not be angry. And if we were angry, then there was something wrong with us. Like, how could you act like that? What were you thinking? You know better. And it's like, wait, I have all these emotions and I don't know what to do with them either. And you have the emotions and you just get to take them out on me. Like, it was a very confusing situation, which I did to my kids when they were younger as well. And there's still times that I get upset, but it's much different now. Oh my God, it's so different, like night and day. Night and day, how I process what I am feeling. And this, I'm getting ready to cry. I just feel so passionate about it because I know how much it impacts not just myself, but also my children in the transformation that I've made. Like, I used to be so, not externally I looked happy, but internally so unhappy, so resentful, so angry, so many emotions that I just didn't even know what to do with. I didn't know how to process them. And they would just pour out of me. And it impacted the way that I mothered. It impacted the way that I worked. And I didn't want to feel them, and I didn't want to feel the grief and the shame and the guilt that came after. And so I would throw myself into work. I would use the addictive pattern of working. And I didn't drink, and I grew up in a family in which there was alcoholism. So that was not my place. I made a conscious decision that I don't want to drink because I don't want to live that lifestyle, not realizing that living that lifestyle was suppressing how you felt. And then I did the same exact thing. I used work to suppress how I felt. If I didn't want to feel the anger, if I didn't want to feel the guilt, if I didn't want to feel the resentment, if I didn't want to feel all of these overwhelming emotions that were bubbling up in my body and the frustration, the irritation, I would work. And you know what happened? I was praised for it. I was validated. I was appreciated. And I wasn't getting this stuff whenever I was expressing how I felt in an unhealthy way, of course. So I wanted to work more. So I would work more and more and more. And I would suppress deeper and deeper and deeper. And the projection would come up stronger and stronger and stronger. I was living in a cycle that was unhealthy and that I did not know how to get out of. However, what happened is that I no longer wanted to live that life. I no longer wanted to project how I was feeling on the people that I loved. I no longer wanted to work so much and have no time for myself that I felt so overwhelmed and irritated and frustrated and sad, but wouldn't allow myself to feel it. Like, I didn't want that anymore. And I was praying for a miracle, and we had to be conscious of what we ask for, because they could come in ways that we don't necessarily desire, but we're going to get what we want. We're going to get what we're asking for. So are you asking for more anger? Are you asking for more projection because you are repressing, because you are rejecting how you feel? What are you asking for? You're asking for more projection. You're asking for more feelings to be projected out into the world about how you feel, or internally. Let's get into that. Also, something that I did is I would take this anger that was within me, this shame that I felt, this guilt that I felt, this resentment that I felt towards others, and I would project it out into to the ones that I love. And then, to make myself feel bad, to punish myself, I would criticize myself, I would judge myself, I would be so mean to myself. I would judge myself, not so much in how I looked. That's never, for me, that's not been one of my things, but it was how I spoke, what I said, what I knew, what I didn't know. I was so critical of myself. There was like no space for love inside of me because there was only room for criticism and judgment. Whew, I need to take a breath. Oh my word. Okay, we're getting into this. So here would be my question for you. What emotions are you projecting onto others? What are the emotions that you are taking out on others because you are rejecting them inside of you? Okay. So the key is healing. The key is feeling what we need to feel. The key is working through what we need to work through. The key is coming back to ourselves so that we don't have to sustain this way of living that makes us feel horrible. That we can't be the truest, authentic version of ourselves. You know, I'm here. I am here on this earth to empower and inspire women to trust in their soul, to reconnect to their soul and live out their divine purpose. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you connect to your soul, to connect to spirit. And when we're stuck in cycles of rejecting how we feel, of repressing how we feel, of suppressing how we feel, and projecting that onto other people and onto ourselves, we're not able to stand in our light and serve in a way that feels good. Sure, you could go out in the world and do it, but how do you feel inside? How is the life around you? What is happening in your home? What is happening in your body? All right, let's get into that real quick here. We're already at 9 minutes, but let's go. When we reject how we feel, when we reject the thoughts and try to suppress them or turn them off or shift them to go focus on something else, like the conversation we had 3 days ago, or the email that hasn't been sent, or the web page that hasn't been designed, or whatever it is, whenever we want to shift our mind to think about something else and not go within to really understand how we feel, the body can only hold so much. from what I've seen, when you get close to your 30s and when you're in your 30s, you're like, I'm done. I can't hold on to any more of this. Like, I've got to let it go. I've been holding on to this my whole life. I've got to let it go. And so as we're in that space, if we're not able to let go, if we're not doing the healing work or showing up for ourselves and understanding our thoughts and understanding our emotions and being with ourselves, it's going to come out in the physical body. Okay, so there's these levels, and I'm going to call it 4 levels. You have your spiritual, your emotional, your physical, or your mental and your physical. And it comes down like this. Okay, this is a simplification, but this is how I'm going to explain it. Spiritually, your soul is communicating what needs to happen. And if you're tapped in, you're good. You know it. You have the insights. You know the path you need to take. You trust the path you need to take. Right? This is the path that I'm always coming back to. This is where I'm going. This is why I go within. This is why I meditate for an hour to 2 hours a day. Because I am coming back into myself. I have time for myself. I make time for myself because it is so important for me to tap in to the spiritual level, to the soul level. And if I don't, what happens then is it comes into my emotions. And my emotions start to get riled up. I start to feel more irritated, more frustrated, more angry, more resentful. Things happen outside of me that make me feel a certain way, but it's not that. That's not how it works. It's happening inside of you, so it's being mirrored outside of you. The external world is only showing you what's happening inside of you. It's that simple. Then, if we don't listen to those emotions, if we don't come back into ourselves and be with ourselves and understand the emotion and hold ourselves and forgive ourselves and love ourselves and be with the guilt and the shame and the anger and the rage and the resentment and the anxiety and all of the feelings that one may be feeling. If we don't give ourselves time for that, it's going to bubble up into the thoughts. So it's going to come down another layer right into those thoughts. And those thoughts are going to be overwhelming. They're going to be critical. They're going to be judgmental. And it's going to show up in the way that you work. You're going to be perfectionist. You're going to be a people pleaser. You're going to be procrastinating. You're going to be overworking. You're going to be doing all of the things. And your mind's going to be so focused on these things that have to get done and why they have to get done. And this is how they have to get done. And I'm going to do it this way. And so then now we have these layers, right? So you're stuck in that. Now you're in the mental cycle because you haven't addressed the emotional cycle. And you definitely didn't address the spiritual one. So your body is so full of these emotions, so full of these thoughts, that then it comes out in the physical ailments. Okay, what does this look like? I'm going to give my own examples. I had chronic sinusitis. I would get a sinus infection every single month. I haven't had a sinus infection in 4 years. But they told me I had chronic sinusitis and that I just needed to take antibiotics for it. And then there were too many antibiotics for it, so then just stop taking it and just deal with it. I was like, oh, cool, okay. No longer have that. I had irritable bowel syndrome. My stomach hurt all the time. All the time I had stomach aches. I was either constipated or not, okay? And there was no in between. Then I had blepharitis for a while, an eye infection. I literally couldn't see clearly, okay? What else did I have? Like my body was so tense. Oh my gosh, my shoulders hurt. My entire body would ache. Like it didn't feel good being in my body. And my jaw. Now I'm still working through my jaw stuff. But let me tell you, it is so much better. My jaw now is about working through actually doing what I'm here to do on earth, right? Bringing forth this spirituality, bringing forth this connection to our soul and allowing people to see the divine power and presence they have within them. That's what I'm here to do now. And as I work through that, as I bring this forth into the world, it's already loosening. It's already calming. It's already slowing down. Like I could feel it. And it used to be so much worse. All right. So my physical ailments were the manifestations of the thoughts I wasn't addressing, of the emotions I wasn't addressing, and of spirit that I was not connecting to. My body wants to connect to spirit. You want to know why? Because it feels good. When I connect to spirit, it feels good. My entire body relaxes. I feel like I am one with the divine, because I am, and my body is able to experience it. I can feel it right now, and it is just such an incredible feeling. It feels like all of my cells are being elevated. It feels like I am completely loved and taken care of and supported. And it's that quick. That is what I want for you. I want you to be able to tap into an energy of love that exists within you and around you within seconds. So, this is what I'm going to close with. We need to release our perfectionism, our people-pleasing, our procrastination. But in order to do that, we have to do the real work that's required, which is us honoring our worthiness, honoring that we are a divine vessel and channel for unconditional love, honoring that we are here to serve our highest purpose. And that is what I am here to help you do. I am here to help you reconnect to your soul, to trust in your soul, and to live out your highest divine purpose. And in order to do that, we've got to let go. We've got to let go of the overwhelming thoughts and of the overwhelming emotions so that you could show up in the world as you are being called. So you can be your most authentic version of you. You are an infinite being. We are here to trust ourselves and to walk our path. So that was a lot today. You felt my passion, but I'm so grateful for you. And I honor where you are, wherever that may be. And I invite you to join me on this journey. Thank you.